Hi, in this video we're going to learn about how to find the midpoints and endpoints. Why do I have to do this? Well, in real life, believe it or not, you will actually need to know how to find the middle and how to find the end if you're given the middle and an end. So we're going to practice doing both situations using the midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula says the following. First of all, know that the midpoint is given as an ordered pair. And remember, ordered pairs come as x, comma, y values. So the midpoint of my line, xm, this m stands for midpoint. So this says the x coordinate of my midpoint and the y coordinate of my midpoint. To find the x coordinate of the midpoint, to find this value, you take your x values of both your endpoints, you add them up, and divide by 2. Take the average. To find the y coordinate of your midpoint, you add up both the y values of your endpoints and divide it by 2, or find the average. So I'm going to show you two examples, one where we use the endpoints to find the midpoint and one where we use the midpoint and the endpoint to find the other endpoint. So we're going to start with what I think is the easier of the two. It's find the midpoint M of segment ST if S is equal to -5, 4 and T is equal to 3, -8. So what I like to do, first I always write out my formula. So I have xm, ym is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now, I always label my points, so I'm going to call this one point 1 S, we'll actually write it here, and this one I'm going to call point 2. And just so that we remember, because ordered pairs come as xy, I know that this is going to be x1, y1, and this one's going to be x2, y2, because this says in point 1, my x value is this. In point 1, my y value is this. This little 2, these subscripts tell you what point you're on. In point 2, this is my x value. In point 2, this is my y value. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in all the points here that I have. So my x1 is -5. My y1 is 4. My x2 is 3. And my y2 is -8. So I get this. -5 plus 3 divided by 2. And 4 plus -8 divided by 2 is going to equal what my midpoint is. So I'm trying to find what is xm and ym. So now I do the math on the right hand side. So I'm going to do each one first. So I'm going to do each coordinate first. So I'm going to do this first. First I'm going to add together -5 plus 3 gives me -2. And -2 divided by 2 is -1. Then I'm going to do the y coordinate next. -4 plus, positive 4 plus -8 gives me -4 divided by 2, and -4 divided by 2 is -2. So my midpoint is equal to this, which we call point M. So there's my first answer for my first problem. Now this one I think is a little bit trickier, where M is the midpoint of line segment CD, and now I'm going to give you the midpoint. The midpoint is a -5, -2, and C is -7, +2. C is one of the endpoints. Find the coordinates of D. So I have to find the other endpoint. So again, I'm going to start off using my formula. xm, ym equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, so my midpoint is this. I know what this is. So I'm going to say that my x value is here and my y value is here. That's what they tell me. And I don't have a point a number for point C, so I'm just going to call this point 1. So that means that this is my x1 value and this is my y1 value. So right here, I'm going to write my x1. And right here, I'm going to write my y1. So I'm going to fill in all the information that I have. -5, -2 equals -7 plus x2 divided by 2, and 2 plus y2 divided by 2, just so you can see where things come from. -5, -2, -7, and 2. So now what I do in order to find my missing endpoint is I use my x values together. So my x coordinates only using this equation are going to, when I use my equation, equal -5. So I can write an equation. -5 equals -7 plus x2 divided by 2. So let's solve. I'm going to put a line down the middle. Because this whole thing is divided by 2, I'm going to multiply by 2 to cancel it out and multiply this side by 2. So I get -10 is equal to -7 plus x2. I need to get x2 on a side by itself. The opposite of -7 is +7. I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and I end up with x2 is equal to -3. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for my y's. My midpoint of my y value, -2, equals whatever this equation over here equals. So I get -2 equals 2 plus y2 divided by 2. I put my line down the middle. And because this whole group is divided by 2, first thing I'm going to do is multiply the whole group by 2. So this cancels each other out. So I get -4 is equal to 2 plus y2. I have to get this 2 on a side by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And I get -6 is equal to y2. So that means that my point D, my other ordered pair, has an x value of -3 and a y value of -6. That is my final answer. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.